Para dar inicio a la edición número 58 de la legendaria Baja 1000, una carrera que no solo forma parte de la historia de nuestro estado, sino del ADN mismo de Baja California. Hoy damos el banderazo de salida a una competencia que ha usado generaciones, que ha moldeado la idea de esta tierra y ha proyectado al mundo la grandeza de nuestros paisajes, la fuerza de nuestra gente y el espíritu indomable de nuestra frontera. Este año, la salida y la meta vuelven a estar aquí, en Ensenada, un reconocimiento claro de SCORE International a la capacidad, la organización y la hospitalidad de Baja California que le ofrece a miles de pilotos, equipos, voluntarios y aficionados que vienen de todos los continentes. Hoy la Baja 1000 se ha transformado en una auténtica leyenda, una carrera que atrae a miles de aficionados del mundo distribuidos a lo largo de toda la brecha peninsular, a disfrutar del paso de pilotos que desafían el desierto para llegar a la meta. Gracias a su entusiasmo, hoy nuestra península baja californiana es la capital de las competencias de fuera de camino, la gran meca que todos los aficionados quieren venir. Hoy celebramos el valor, la fuerza de voluntad, pero también la alegría y la sabiduría que esta competencia trae consigo. Quiero agradecer a SCORE International por mantener a nuestro estado como sede principal del Campeonato Mundial del Desierto, un calendario que en 2025 contempló 4 grandes carreras: la San Felipe 250, la Baja 500, la Baja 400 y por supuesto la Baja 1000, y que continuará en 2026 con 3 competencias más. Su confianza en Baja California es un mensaje contundente. Aquí encontramos rutas únicas, comunidades comprometidas, seguridad, coordinación institucional y sobre todo un pueblo que sabe recibir con el corazón por delante. A nombre de todo el estado, también la colaboración del Ayuntamiento de Ensenada, alcaldesa Claudia Gatón, del municipio de San Quintín, de la Secretaría del Estado, así como de las autoridades que año con año hacen posible que estas carreras se desarrollen con seguridad, orden y entusiasmo. Gracias al trabajo coordinado con SCORE y el liderazgo de este gobierno, hemos impulsado de manera histórica el turismo deportivo como motor económico y como una de las vocaciones culturales y turísticas de Baja California. Seguiremos con estas competencias que generan económica, promoción internacional, ocupación hotelera, crecimiento para nuestros prestadores de servicios y oportunidades para miles de familias. Pero además, la Baja 1000 es un símbolo. Es la demostración de que en Baja California se vive con pasión, se compite con honor y se celebra con alegría. A todas y todos los pilotos nacionales e internacionales, bienvenidos a su casa, a Baja California. Que este desierto los ponga a prueba, pero que también los inspire. Que corran con valentía, con respeto y con la certeza de que la gente de Baja California los acompaña y los cuida en cada kilómetro. A los equipos, a los mecánicos, a los organizadores, a los aficionados y a los medios de comunicación, gracias por hacer esta fiesta. Hoy arrancamos una nueva edición de la carrera off-road más importante del planeta. Hoy reafirmamos que Baja California es y seguirá siendo la catedral del off-road, con enorme orgullo, con la fuerza de nuestra gente y con el corazón puesto en cada ruta. Declaro formalmente inaugurada la 58 edición de la Baja 1000. Nuestra tierra les da la bienvenida hoy y siempre por poner en esta gran aventura.
Muchísimas gracias, gobernador. Very much, Governor Marina del Pilar, expressing her gratitude and her recognition to SCORE International, to all of the authorities, to the mayor, to all the race teams that are ready to take part. So we'll go ahead and do that. Vamos a proceder a pasar al arco de salida para que la gobernadora y la alcaldesa nos den el banderazo de salida de esta, la 58 edición de la SCORE Baja 1000. Let's go racing. Thank you.
A las 9 hacemos el abrazo, ¿no?
Sí, ya vamos
Entonces,
para allá.
gobernó, prometo.
Pero yo diría que baja para acá, porque
Sí,
si
para
baja
acá.
para allá se entretiene.
Cuidado. ¿Quién anda aquí? ¿Y este micrófono se va para allá o qué?
Ese es el micrófono de Kevin. ¿Escucha, Rafa?
How many minutes am I doing? 3? No. Oh, we're ready to go.
You will do a presentation over there? Or
I'll start there and I'll walk to the trailer.
Okay, let's go over here to Rafael to tell.
Okay. Pardon me.
Rafa, ¿quiere hacer una presentación afuera? Y luego venirse para acá. Vamos a la carrera empieza a las 9. ¿Cuántos minutos antes?
Like those?
You?
Yeah. 2 minutes is fine.
You need 2 minutes.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
I'm going to stop talking. I'll go 3 minutes and then 1 minute.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our live 2025 SCORE 1000. Beautiful from my shoulder here. The bikes left this morning at midnight, and for the first 300 miles, it took them 6 hours. So the bike 50 miles an hour. I just spoke with some of the riders here. Matter of fact, I spoke with Christopher Valvardi as well as Toby Price. I believe they can average 60 miles an hour at least for the first 250 miles. So it's going to be fast out there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And as you know, you've watched our previous races. It comes down to mere seconds. So this is going to be incredibly fast and incredibly fun. Enjoy it out there. Enjoy the race. For your fans watching, please stay clear of the course, but enjoy and have a good time out there. I'm going to step out of the way and let the camera follow the action. As you can see, our first truck on the line there. That's truck number 94. That's Christopher Valvardi. As you can see, it's very loud here, but you love the sound in the morning. So you're looking here at Christopher Valvardi, truck number 94. He'll be sharing the duties today with Bryce Menzies. An incredible super team. A lot of people's picks right there. However, right behind him is Mr. Alan Ampudia. We're 5 seconds ago. So that was Valvardi starting the section of the 2025 BFGoodrich SCORE Baja 1000. It's a hot start in Ensenada this time. We're using the wash for the first time in about 6 or 7 years. So they're going to go into the corner and they're going to drop into the Rugged Radios wash. And then they're going to really get on it and open it up. Right now you're looking at our defending series champion with that red plate, that number 1. But also, he's won all 3 races this year. The San Felipe 250, the Baja 500, as well as the Baja 400. He'll be the first trophy truck driver ever to sweep all 4. Alan Ampudia. Also spoke with some of the drivers of where they're going to drive and switch to. Christopher Valvardi has taken it to mile 450, where he's going to swap out to Bryce. Right now you're looking at the truck of Toby Price. Truck number 46. Toby's one of the guys, I think it's going to be quick, pretty fast race. He is going to take the truck this morning to race mile 185, where he's going to switch it out with Paul Wheel. Toby's getting back in the truck over by Fred's Tractor Trail to bring it home. So pretty interesting. He's had a couple little gremlins go his way in the last few races. He's hoping that was it, and he can run this one to clean all the way through. From Queensland, Australia, Toby Price. Up next, in that truck known as the Beast, another crowd favorite out of El Cajon, California. That's truck number 83, Luke McMillan. So far, all of these trucks have been Mason Motorsports all-wheel drives. Sharing with Luke today will be someone with a little bit of experience down here in Baja, Mr. Rob McCachran. 4 seconds off here for Luke McMillan to start his Baja 1000. So now you're looking at truck number 70 from New Braunfels, Texas, the Concrete Motorsports. That's Kevin Thompson. Harley Lettner, Cole Wolf, and Kellen Walsh, among others, sharing the duties inside that cab. Kevin had a super fast qualifying round. That's why he's starting up here in position number 2. Kevin Thompson. Beautiful paint job on this truck. And it's paint. It's not a decal. That's Tavo Vadosola from Mexicali, Baja California. That beautiful paint scheme on that truck, but don't let the pretty of the paint fool you. Tavo's a mean driver out there, and he's got one thing on his mind, and that's to get the checkered flag here. Javi Valenzuela, Victor Valenzuela, Augustine Moreno, Jason McNeil, and Eric Clay sharing the duties. Another Mason Motorsports. Up next, we have another crowd favorite. And this truck coming from Bristol, Virginia. Truck number 5, that's Robbie Gordon. Sharing the duties with Robbie today will be his son Max Gordon, along with Clyde Stacy and Brian Hansen. This is the first non-Mason Motorsports truck. This is the RPM Geyser truck. And this truck is crazy. 2 engines, 2 transmissions, around 1,400 horsepower. This truck is just a monster. Another one of those beautiful McMillan trucks here. Now we're back to a Mason Motorsports all-wheel drive truck once again. Out of El Cajon, California, number 21, Dan McMillan. Sharing the duties in there is Andy, along with Rogelio Pereira, Jason Ledesma, Gil Aguirre, and Brady Thompson. Dan, of course, is out of El Cajon, California. DLM Properties, Monster Energy, and BF Goodrich Method Race Wheels among his sponsors. Dan McMillan. Up next, you're looking at a truck that only knows one thing, and that's coming in first place. You see that beautiful red plate, the number 1L, defending class champion for multi-years. I believe this is 16 or 17 straight wins in a row they're going for. Gustavo Vadosola Sr. from Mexicali, Baja California. Ricky Johnson, Nico Ambrose, Victor Valenzuela, and Mike Coleman, part of the team inside that cab today. I think he's got a record that's not going to be beat. That many consecutive wins, 16, 17, maybe going for 18 today. Getting a little squirrely getting out of there, but no harm, no foul, as the great Chick Hearn used to say. Another crowd favorite here. Number 11, the Rob McCachran entry. Fastball Racing. Bobby Smith, Joey Westhoff, and Josh Daniel. Rob's doing double duty today. I believe it's Josh taking it off the line. I think he qualified in it. Now that's a Jimco truck. As you can see, proudly there along the front. Now they're going right through the streets of Ensenada. It's a hot start here in Ensenada. And they're going to jump into the wash thanks to Rugged Radios. There's some jump set up down there. It's a lot of fun. I know we have a lot of fans out there today. Next, we have our two-wheel drive truck, 9T. That's Ethan Ebert in that beautiful Honda Passport. They're out of Marana, Arizona. Richard Glassick, Gayton Hayden, and Brandon Wells teaming up with Ethan today. Nice looking truck. Different style. I like it. American Honda, Honda Performance Development, Maxxis Steel It, and Baja Designs, Fox among his many sponsors. Right now, hailing from St. George, Utah, truck number 38, that's Eric Husted. Sharing time on the seats in that truck is Colton Husted and Mitchell Johnson. Maxxis Tires, King Shocks, and ELE Motorsports among their main sponsors. That Ford truck was just taken off there, but now we're looking at a Tisco truck, TSCO. The Green Army is represented all throughout Baja. It's the first of our trophy spec trucks. Out of Colton, California, Mr. Justin Davis. Troy Holes, Tyler Peterson, Jeremy Davis, and Dustin Hellstrom. Other members of the team inside the truck today. Toyo Tires, Rigid Industries, and King Shocks among their main sponsors. Justin Davis, no stranger to podiums down here in Baja. Again, our top qualifier, our first trophy spec truck off the line. Now we have another trophy spec right behind him. A 19 Industries truck from Las Vegas, Nevada, number 227, Jack Olegies. Jordan Dean, Steve Olegies, Wes Leffler, and Matt Brady sharing the duties. BFGoodrich Tires, Fox Shocks, and VP Racing among his many sponsors. Jack's hoping to have a nice clean run today. There's just a little bit of sprinkle in town this morning. The rain has pretty much held off. Probably not even enough to keep the dust down yet. Another familiar truck here in Baja, a guy that's no stranger to the podium himself. That's 16T, Mr. Cameron Steele, out of San Clemente, California. In that two-wheel drive Geyser. Monster Energy, Yokohama, Fox, and Raceline among his main sponsors. Of course, that Desert Assassins team. Cody Stewart, Evan Italy, and Mr. Dave Mason Jr. sharing the driving duties today. Cameron's prepared, as he always is. Study getting out here, but bringing it into the finish line. That's the main goal. Another one of our spec trucks up next here. Another 19 Industries. FX Construction, their main sponsor. Out of Highland, Utah, that's Brent Fox. Evan Weber, Luis Dominguez, and Nash Youngren. Cody Johnson, Preston Brigman, Kyler Christensen, and Trevor Rasmussen sharing the duties. Got ahead of myself there. Brent Fox had a good qualifying. That's why he's so high up here with these spec entries. Trophy spec. Incredible trucks. Pretty much in that class, it's all about the drivers. Now we've got another Ford here. Number 62T, that's Ryan Pullman out of Orem, Utah. Good look inside the cab right there as the guys are getting focused. Rating 25 BFGoodrich SCORE Baja 1000. Yeah, that's a good shot of the eyes right there. This is where Gavin Weber, Dodge Pullman, Luis Dominguez, and Nash Youngren are sharing duties. 62T, beautiful color scheme, white and blue there on that truck. Ready Gunner and Prime Power Sports, their main. Seems a little longer here for some reason. I don't think we missed anybody, so not sure what the delay is. There's always a reason. This isn't just by happenstance. Maybe timing might be something further up the course that's delaying to start right now. As soon as I find out, I'll let you guys know. Again, when you see, for you guys just joining us or kind of new to watching our SCORE races, when you see the trucks with that T on it, 62T, it's a trophy truck, but it's only two-wheel drive. Everything else is the same, totally unlimited what they can do. It's just the two-wheel drive faction of it, which could be up to $500,000 cheaper. Less expensive. I shouldn't say cheap. Nothing's cheap. So that was Sam Baldy right in front of that. Right now we're looking at Maverick Gaunt. Torrance, California. In that Geyser. Jake Johnson, Robert Llewellyn, Brian and Roberto Farias sharing the duties. Now we have our first Class 1. Right now we're looking at number 162 from Las Vegas, Nevada, Mr. Brendan Gaughan. Talking to him yesterday about maybe the possible rain. He says, bring it on. I love it. Gotta love that attitude. Buddy Feldkamp, Brandon Holly, Jared Ingram, Timmy Wilson, and Jeff Wilson sharing the duties. South Point Hotel, their main sponsor here, Glen Helen Raceway as well. BFGoodrich Tires. Again, our first Class 1, Brendan Gaughan. Now, you're seeing them different. You're seeing trophy specs and trophy two-wheel drive, trophy four-wheel drives. You're seeing it that way because it's all based on qualifying the other day out at Nelson Ranch. These are the results, and that determine the start order here today. Right now we have another 19 Industries truck, also out of Las Vegas, Nevada. That's truck number 263. That's E.J. Herbst. Ryan Millen's going to be taking it off to Toya, Erica Seidman, Justin Blower, and Zach Coates sharing the duties. Pretty popular truck with the El Terrible logo on the side there. Terrible Herbst. BFGoodrich Tires. Now we have another Class 1, and you see the red plate. That means they're defending class champions. From Apple Valley, California, that's Mr. Cody Reed. Mike Diorio, Adam Fanuc, Kevin Reed, Matt Dorse, and Shelby Reed all helping out today. There goes Cody Reed. I'd also like to introduce Miss Carolina Morales, who's joined us here in the booth today. Carolina, welcome. Let you take over here. It looks like Dave Taylor is next.
Good morning, everyone. This is Carolina Morales, representing Ensenada here in SCORE Baja 1000. We see Dave Taylor from Page, Arizona. He's driving at Geyser. Christina Genova, Matt Cullen, Eric Fiorino. Sponsored by Adonia Yaks, Raceline Wheels, BFGoodrich Tires, and Trailers Unlimited.
Up next, another 19 Industries truck out of Las Vegas, Nevada. That's truck number 200. Again, another red plate, meeting class champion. That's Mr. Thor Herbst. A lot of Herbsts inside that truck today. Pierce Herbst, Riley Herbst as well. Jeremy Munyon and Trevor Ellingham helping with navigation there. Terrible Herbst Motorsports, their main sponsor, of course. Again, defending class champion. BFGoodrich Tires and Fox Shocks among their many sponsors. Method Race Wheels as well. They spent a lot of time down here feel pretty good about their odds out here. They've done their homework.
Now in line, we see another Herbst truck with Team Herbst. And, of course, sponsored by Terrible Herbst Motorsports, Monster Energy, 9 Industries, BFGoodrich Tires, and with Caleb Marshall, Shane Robinson, and Arciero. Y para la gente que nos ve y nos escucha de México y de los países que hablan español, ahora sí, bienvenidos a la transmisión de SCORE International en esta SCORE Baja 1000, su edición número 58. Acabamos de ver a 2 de los trucks de la familia Herbst, el 200 y el 19T, Thor Herbst y Team Herbst. Es al segundo mencionado que vemos en la línea de salida. Vemos el conteo, 5 segundos para arrancar en esta SCORE Baja 1000.
Looking at Brenthal Industries truck. That's number 236, another spec truck, and that is Michael Marsal from Millbrook, New York. Hudson Hall, Matthew Martinez, Troy Grabowski, and Jack Tanner sharing the duties. That's the Spy Optics sponsored truck. They got the helicopter overhead. Not sure what they're flying today. I don't know what the aviation rules are with this weather, but they did a lot of time pre-run. I watched them a lot on the south part of the course earlier this week and last week as well. Baja Designs and Tremor Wheels among their main sponsors. Good looking truck right there.
Next in line, we see Mikey Lawrence from Banning, California. This is a 9 Industries truck and is sponsored by Lawrence Equipment, has factory outlet, King Shocks, and BFGoodrich Tires. Dustin Grabowski, Trevor Freeman, Arturo Velasco are racing with Mikey Lawrence, this Baja 1000.
Now we have a Chevy truck sitting there all the way from Bozeman, Montana. 78T, another two-wheel drive. That's Mr. Tracy Poole. RJ Stidham, Will Timberg, and Austin Gladden sharing the duties in that Chevy. Vigilante Racing, King Shocks, BFGoodrich Tires, among their many sponsors here. They said they were lucky enough to get a lot of pre-running in, so they feel pretty good. Heading into the race. Again, it's beautiful weather right now. It's just on and off, little mist. It's going to pick up later on today, but right now for everyone and all the fans, it's just beautiful, perfect start. They're going to head out here in Ensenada and then leave the streets and jump into the Rugged Radio Wash right there with the jumps, and there's a whole bunch of people out there. We appreciate all our fans. Just stay safe and don't get too close to the course there.
Out of Australia, we see Justin Montesalvo with a 280 truck, and he's sharing the duties with from Mexico, representing Sonny Cázares, Tyler Miller, Juan Carlos Lopez, Reynaldo Zavala, Dawson Pasalic, and Pedro Ramirez. Their sponsors, Patriot Campers, AlphaFit, Power, and Method.
Moving right along here, we have another Ford rolling up to the star line, getting ready to take the green flag. It's another two-wheel drive trophy truck. That's J.P. Gomez from Placerville, California. Marco Gomez, Daryl Gomez, Danny Patterson, and Sergio Garcia sharing seat time today inside that beautiful truck. You can see BF Goodrich Raceline Wheels, Baja Designs among their many sponsors, Fox Shocks as well. James Dean, Drew Stanton, Nick Almada, Greg Shapiro, and Pat Gailey. The Brenthals are always ready.
Así es, acabamos de ver arrancar a Jonathan Brentel de Murrieta, California, y ahora vemos en línea a Sean Runyon de Hilliard, Ohio. Sus patrocinadores: Columbus Steel Erectors, RM Management, All Crane Rental, and TL Speed Shop. Sean Runyon from Hilliard, Ohio. Sharing the wheel with Dawson Latimer, McRae Glass, Tanner Screeter.
Well, that was 27. That was the Jonathan Brenthal truck. So we got a little out of order here. We're going to try to catch it up, get back in line here. Now we got Sean Runyon. So not sure how we got out of order there, but timing will get it all right. No problem for them. They'll get everything correct. Now we have the 99L. This is Sean Runyon that Carolina just explained who everyone was there. I'll go over it again. They're from Hilliard, Ohio. Dawson Latimer, McCree Glass, and Tanner Schritter. That's a Brenthal, as you can see, proudly displayed along the front bumper. Beautiful truck, orange and white. Right now we're looking at a beautiful Ford truck here, number 35T, another two-wheel drive. It's Kevin Adler from Lake Havasu City, Arizona. This is a great story. I spent a lot of time talking with Kevin. He's teaming up with his brother, Greg Adler. They haven't raced together in quite a long time, so this is fantastic. Wishing those guys the best out there. Billy Wilson, Brian Speed, Leifer Delgado, Joe Johnson, and Jorge Lameda sharing the duties in that Ford. Adler Motorsports, KC Highlights, BF Goodrich Tires, Racing Wheels, and Off-Road Warehouse, and four-wheel drive parts, four-wheel parts, all together in there. And now they're pretty excited to be teaming up with his brother, racing together instead of against each other. We wish them all the best.
From Ensenada, Baja California, we see José David Rubalcaba Adame sharing the duties with Esteban Cruz Duarte, Rogelio Pando, and Santiago Krill, all Mexican team. Their sponsors: Toyo Tires, Monster Energy, KMC Wheels, Las Lomitas Racing, Papas and Beer, Baja Designs, and Wino Vinil. Vemos arrancar al equipo de José David Rubalcaba Adame con el número 209. Ahí arrancan esta Baja 1000, edición número 58, compartiendo con Esteban Cruz Duarte, Rogelio Pando y Santiago Krill. Now we see a Class 1, Brad Wilson from Long Beach, California. It's a Jimco truck, car, and he's driving with Kyle Quinn, Scott Mahelona, Ricky Hardy, Brent Wendt, Ronnie Wilson, Jack Roast, Anthony Apalategui. Their sponsors, Wilson Motorsports, BFGoodrich Tires, Method Race Wheels, King Shocks, Vision X Lighting, and Jimco.
Yeah, Carolina, this Class 1, they've been pretty competitive all throughout the whole season. It'll be interesting to watch how these guys do. If the course gets muddy, it could benefit the Class 1s. They're a little more nimble. They can get around these things. So it'll be interesting to watch as it all unfolds here in the next multiple hours ahead for these guys. Right now, we're looking at another one of our spec trucks. That's truck number 230, all the way from Omaha, Nebraska. Neil Drickey behind the wheel there. SLR Motorsports, King Shocks, Redline Racing Oil, Baja Designs, among their many sponsors. Sharing the duties today inside that SLR built machine is Matt Ongman, Joe DeLucy, Andrew DeLucy, DJ Blasco, Daniel Munoz, Kyle Spindler, and Vincent Munoz. These guys are fun all the way out in Nebraska, coming across here. Just hoping to have a great run here in the 2025 BF Goodrich SCORE Baja 1000.
Next in line, we see from Las Vegas, Nevada, Dallas Luttrell. Doing this Baja 1000 with Billy Jorke, Jeremy Huntsman, Pepe Rodriguez, and Casey Gilbert. Sponsored by TSA Motorsports, BFGoodrich Tires, Cayman Shocks, Calling Motorsports, Croyer Racing, and Hella Designs. And it's a Dodge truck. Y para nuestra gente que nos ve en español, les menciono que a quien vemos arrancar es Dallas Luttrell de la Nevada, haciendo esta baja 1000 con Billy Jorke, Jerry, Pepe Rodríguez y Casey Gilbert.
Now we have another one of our legend entries. That's number 53L. They're full-blood trophy trucks. Full-blood trophy trucks. It's just the drivers are all 50 years of age or older in the legend class. Out of Chico, California, that's Wade Porter, Logan Ponce, Jonathan Ruvalcaba, Danny Maciel, Naver Maciel, and Alex Iverson. And Matt Brenthal. Their main sponsor is Porter Flying Service, Danzio Performance Engineering, STG King Shocks, and Toyo Tires. The legend class, it's going to be hard to get on top because only one man takes the top for many, many races in a row. But we hope they have a great race out there.
Out of Temecula, California, we see Brenthel, another Brenthel truck, and wheel with Abdali Lopez, Sonny Cázares, Tyler Miller, Juan Carlos Lopez, Reynaldo Zavala, Dawson Pasalic, and Pedro Ramirez. That's a Brenthel Industries, of course, and is sponsored by, of course, Brenthel Industries, Fox Shocks, Yokohama Method Race Wheels, and Sparco, Danzio Performance, Hawk Performance, and a lot of other sponsors. They have a lot of sponsors. Y es un equipo con algunos participantes mexicanos. Vemos a Abdali López, Juan Carlos López, su papá, Reinaldo Zavala, también de su equipo, Pedro Ramírez, y les deseamos toda la suerte y el éxito del mundo. Y Kevin, we see Shane Lewis in line from Jupiter, Florida. Another rental truck, and with him, Earl Brandon Jones, Jason Smith, and their team is sponsored by BFGoodrich Tires, Nacho Off-Road Lighting, and RSS.
That Speed Shark truck getting ready to take the green light. There they go. Oh, they're getting on it. Nice. Getting some power. Pretty excited. A lot of adrenaline. I can't imagine that they must be feeling, Carolina, right at the start. They know what's ahead of them here and the coming rain. Right now out of Yuma, Arizona, we're looking at 228. Correction. We're at 61L. Let's check the number here. It is, that's correct, 61L. That's Mr. David Payne from St. Louis, Missouri. Sharing duties in the cab is none other than our Grand Marshal for this event, Hall of Famer Mr. Larry Rossler, Kevin Murphy, Tucker Conroy, Jeremy Johnson, Rod Walser, Skylar Pereira, Larry Ragland, and Andy Greider. A lot of experience in that truck. Another one of our legend trucks here. Payne-Cast Electric, Milwaukee Tools, BFGoodrich Tires, Maxima Racing Oils, and that beautiful Mason Motorsports truck. Not only can he be the Grand Marshal, but he's also going to spend time driving the truck. That's awesome. I'll do the next one, too. I got it all out of order here. Now we're looking at our spec truck here. Here's Ryan Hancock out of Yuma, Arizona. 228. Alexander Ford, their main sponsor, BFGoodrich Tires as well. Jordan Poole, Dan Fresh, Evan Weller, Cole Wimmer, and DJ Fresh. DJ Fresh, come on, that can't be a real name. They'd be playing the after party as well. That's a Tisco truck. Beautiful truck. Again, the trophy spec class, extremely competitive.
Kevin, with the number 239, we see Travis Picoy from Costa Mesa, California. Sharing the duties today with Tyler Brown, Brad Hilliard, and Gavin Harlian. Only 3 racers. And that's a Mason Motorsports truck, sponsored by Earth Basics, Delta Media, BF Racing Fuels, Fox Shocks, Raceline Wheels, OMP, Vibe Organic, Troy Lee Designs, Baja HQ, and Baja Designs. Travis Picoy, 239 from Costa Mesa, California. That's part of the Desert Assassins team. And here they go.
Another one of our legend trucks here from Banning, California, looking at Clay Lawrence. Another one of those well-built 1-9 Industries truck. Louis Mayers, Daniel Hernandez, Steve Lawler, and Mark Dobson taking turns in both seats there, navigation and driving. Of course, sponsored by Lawrence Equipment, Haas Factory Outlet, Baja Designs, King Shocks, BFGoodrich Tires, and Kona Blue Sport Fishing, along with Croyer. Always competitive. They always get down here and do their pre-running. They just don't come up not ready. They're prepared. That's always a prepared team, Carolina.
And with the 15T number, we see David Ziegler from Reno, Nevada, with Paul Ziegler, Chuck Dempsey, Daniel Plaza, Brad Bolton, and Tyler Turrieta. That's another Brentel Industries truck, sponsored by DNA Carpentry, Reno Motorsports, King Shocks, Method Race Wheels, and Brentel. Of course.
Now, right now, you're looking at 95T. That's another one of our two-wheel drive trophy trucks, all the way from Houston, Texas, representing the Lone Star State. Another Brenthal Industries truck. They got a whole crew running with them today. I'll try to get through them all. That's Daniel de la Trinidad, Enrique Murillo, Mitchell Perez, Herman Alvarez, David Castellan, Jonathan Faulkner, Derek Hunter, Miguel Perez, Justin Apple, and Xavier Apple. Said that was a bunch, and they're in there. They're doing it, though. They're excited, representing the Lone Star State, all the way from Houston, Texas.
Vimos arrancar al equipo con el 95T. Ahora vemos Gary Magnus, Mango Motorsports from Denver, Colorado, doing this Baja 1000 with Jet Blackwell, Armando Bravo, Daniel A. Garcia, EJ Binstra, John Sparks, Jeff Calhoun, Gordon McKeel, Courtney Montgomery, and Chris Neal. That's a Ford truck that we're seeing in the start line, and it's sponsored by BFGoodrich Tires, Baja Designs, Impact, and Maxima. 3 seconds to start Baja 1000.
So there goes Gary Magnus. Right behind him is his daughter. There should be 232 of Chelsea Magnus. Although it doesn't appear to be. Well, the truck's currently not in, but we'll move back to the next one. They'll fix all that again in timing. We'll just go to who we have next in line here. And this is truck number 283, all the way from Thailand. Maybe one of our furthest distance to travel to get here. Racing a trophy spec truck from Thailand is Helik Shrestha. Again with Juan Roman, Juan Carlos, and Jose Jesus in this Brenthal Industries truck. It's part of their Fly and Drive program. Brenthal Industries, Fox Shocks, Yokohama Tire, Method Race Wheels, FK Rod Ends, Steel Coatings, Baja Kits, Maximum USA, among their many sponsors on that vehicle. Pretty excited to come all the way from Thailand and race in the SCORE Baja 1000. They probably should have started at the 500 and got some experience, but they're having a great time. Good.
And from Los Mochis, Mexico, we see Abel Madiel Soto Leiva with Rodrigo Sandejas, Gildardo Geraldo, Cristian Castellán Flores, Abelardo Ruanova Morino in a 19 Industries truck. Sponsored Mac Contuberías, MC Jim, Monkey Business, I think. Monkey Papas, Rutas Adventures, and Monster Energy. Truck number 265, Abdel Madiel Soto Leiva, de Los Mochis, México.
Moving right along here in the 2025 BF Goodrich SCORE Baja 1000. Up next from Fort Davis, Texas, a guy that's no stranger to SCORE races down here. That's number 241, Stephen Beal. Jared Lubick and Sean Geyser sharing the duties, of course, in that Geyser truck. Baja Designs, Method Race Wheels, Sendero Residential, their main sponsor, along with UPR.
Now we have another Texas racer from Austin, Texas, Charles Dorrance, doing this Baja 1000 with Pete McLeod, Bert Jenner, Kate Garcia, Mike Lucy, Corey Mitcham. That's a Tisco truck sponsored by Ilegal Mezcal, Baja Designs, BFGoodrich Tires, Maxima Oil, Ultra Wheels, Down South Motorsports.
A lot of experience in that truck there, Carolina. We'll see how they finish. They're starting pretty far back, but we'll see how it works out for them. I think that something happened at qualifying. That's why they're so far back. But right now we're going with, well, we have one truck missing in line here. 86T is not in the right place. They'll probably catch up. But right now I'm looking at someone I know quite well. That's Mr. Matthew Legg out of Boulder, Colorado. Brandon Haller, Taylor Morfett, and Jagra Perez sharing the duties in that Geyser at 64T. Big two-wheel drive truck. Matthew's got a lot of experience down here in Baja. He's done a couple SCORE races, but he's a big-time veteran of the Nora scene, putting a lot of miles in down here and doing very well for himself. Prepped by Nacho, Geyser Brothers, Cowbell Construction, Triple R Lights, Signart Graphics, PCI, and Holler Motorsports. Again, Matthew Legg from Boulder, Colorado. That truck is wide. If you look at that truck, it's wider than the other trucks. It's a pretty cool build. That front end is from a 70s Ford. If you get a shot of the front grill on that truck, there you go right there. Look at that front end. Cool looking truck. Old school all the way. Up next, we have 25L, again, representing Texas, this time out of Cedar Hills, is a guy that's so great to off-road racing. That's the Monkey Business Workshop sponsored truck of Mark Winkleman. Gotta love those guys. They do so much for everything, including the bikes as well. A lot of drivers sharing the duty in that truck today. Rudy Uribe, Pablo Moreno, Dean Kelsey, Charles Master, Chris Palmer, our own Rat Salt, Glenn Mon, Jose Rosado, Ted Moncure, and Kevin McPherson. I know Rat's pretty excited. They're going to bring the truck down. Rat's going to get in down at Acambaro and then finish down at Colonet later on today. So I'll look forward to seeing Rat when he gets back here tonight, sometime after dark. He'll be joining us here back in the booth here, or back on the stage, actually, at that time.
It's the 52L. It's another Legends truck. John Chenuda from Tucson, Arizona. And he's doing the Baja 1000 with Tyler Land, Alan. Oh, help me with this one.
Alan Klinkbeard and Steve Smith. You could have done the Steve Smith. Yeah. Okay, it's a custom truck. It's BF Goodrich Tires, Simpson, King, Chevrolet, PRP, VP Fuels, Torco Fuels, and DSA, their sponsors. Getting ready for the countdown. We did have one truck miss their start, though, so we'll see what's up. If that's the case, they'll put him later in the field. So if that truck they miss is one of your guys' friends or family members at home, don't worry. They'll get whatever worked out of that, and they'll put him in somewhere in the. But right now, we're moving into our Pro UTV Carolina, this class is crazy competitive. 16 entries in here. But right now it's being led by a guy that pretty much wins everything he gets behind the wheel, and that's Mr. Brock Hager.
Yeah, Kevin, we see Brock Hager in line waiting for the green flag. That's the 1896 from El Centro, California. Brock Hager doing only with Justin Wilson, just the two of them. That's a Polaris we see in line, and it's sponsored by SCI Motorsports, Polaris, Progressive, Rockford Fosgate, Synchrony, LubeTech, BFGoodrich Tires, Method Race Wheels, Rigid, Fox Shocks, BP Racing, Sparco, and Dixon.
Again, listen to the sound. Quick, the sound difference when they start. You know, we're back a little bit in the SCORE studio here in the trailer, our mobile studio here. And I tell you, it's a difference in the sound when those trucks are taking off. But here we are. Up next is a guy that's going to be right on his heels for sure. It's Caden McCochran from Las Vegas, Nevada, 1821. Haley Hine, Ethan Groom, and Carson Sandberg in there. Again, that's another one of those Polaris. There goes Caden, SCI Motorsports, Polaris, Progressive, Rockford, Fosgate, all the same sponsors on these factory Polaris teams.
Max Eddy Jr. from Barstow, California, the 1841. Connor Eddy, Dylan Schmoke, Tyler Lim. That's another Polaris. Same sponsors. SCI Motorsports, Polaris, Progressive, Synchrony, LubeTech, BFGoodrich Tires, Sparco, Dixon, and many, many more.
Again, the Polaris parade continues. We have another one showing up right now at El Cajon, California, number 1831, Justin Morgan. And I was talking with some of the other, J.D. Marshall, of course, sharing the duties. Justin's going to try to do the whole thing by himself. And you see a lot of it, especially in the UTVs, the former bike guys that have moved into it. I talked with a couple of them. I think it's because they learned to read terrain so well being on the bike that when they shift into the UTVs, they just master it right away. So wishing all those guys the best of luck out there. He's in that Polaris, factory sponsor Polaris. And up next is another Polaris, but it's Mike Caffro from Temecula, California. Jamie Kirkpatrick and Mandy Vienna in there. It's number 1876. Ober Tires, Elka Suspension, Vizinex Lighting, Metal Effects, and Polaris Racing. Carlsbad Brewing Company, among their many, many sponsors to get down here.
Next in line, Brandon Walsh from Encinitas, California. It's the 1870. And, well, he's with Cody Weaver, 7 Celiseo, Aaron Celiseo, Naya Celiseo, Ryan Scott, Duke Nagy, Eva Star, Malbanan, and that's another Polaris from the Pro UTV Open class, sponsored by Star Mount Systems. Next in line, who's there, Kevin? Tell us.
Yes, of course, no stranger to racing down here in Baja, and especially with SCORE. Mr. Justin Lambert, 1869. Spoke with Justin yesterday at Tech. He's ready. He's fired up about this race. Matt Scarpuzzi, Scott Trafton, and Rich Hedgecock sharing the duties in that beautiful Polaris. Cognito, Polaris Razor, ITP Tires, KMC Wheels, FK Rod Ends, Baja Designs, among their many, many sponsors. Going right along here, right behind him, is we have Kristen Matlock in 1854 out of Alpine, California. Christopher Escobar, navigator. Again, Kristen is not getting out of that. Does Polaris, Yokohama, Optima, Vision Wheel, Maxima, Rugged Radios, Ride Box, many, many sponsors. Kristen's no stranger to the podium, and it might not be this time.
Girl power, Kristen Matlock, and right behind her, Wayne Matlock, husband, yes, out of Alpine, California, with the number 1871. Oh, she's about to start. That's Kristen, and they swapped in order.
Yeah, again, they got a little out of order here. So Kristen's going now. We just talked about her. So I believe Wayne went before her. So sharing with Wayne is Pancho Rodriguez. Nope, there's Wayne. So we had another one that skipped the order here. No big deal. We'll get it all figured out by the time we get to the end. So the car that went before Kristen was Brandon Sims from Prescott Valley, Arizona, with Skylar House sharing the duties. We're all caught up here. There goes Wayne Matlock. Again, another guy that started with the bikes and worked his way up, and that's why these guys are so good. And Kristen has just been driving forever, and that husband-wife team is very formidable here in this Class 18. Up next, another 18, Class 18, Alexandra Noble out of Mira Mesa, California. Daniel Felix is a navigator. Daniel, a lot of experience, ran for many Matlock, Polaris, Noble Craft, Felix Engineering as well.
Now we see in line the number 1843, Jason Shipman from Farmington, Missouri, with Andy Shipman, Duke DeLong, Brock Bunkerhorn, Chris Boyd, Adam Bunkerhorn, and Sean Burnett. That's another Polaris. And Scrapman Cape Metal Recyclers, BFGoodrich Tires, are their sponsors.
I believe we got another one here that we're just, another order's changing, but I believe that is the Can-Am of Michael McFadden. I think that's number 1838. It is 1838. That's Michael McFadden from Yucaipa, California. Allsup Racing Development, part of that team.
Ronnie Anderson out of Riverside, California, with R.J. Anderson, Rick Greener, Adam Lund, Cole Kitts. That's the number 1837, another Polaris, sponsored by NOS Energy, Polaris Racer, BFGoodrich Tires.
Up next, we have a crowd favorite, former Major League Baseball All-Star, number 1899, that's Mr. Ian Kennedy. Ryan Edwards, Jake Larson, Caleb Derby, Thomas Purdell, and Jake Bissonette. BFGoodrich Tires, King Shocks and Bow Designs among their sponsors. So Ian Kennedy now being a star in two different sports. Carolina, now we're moving on to one of my favorite classes, the Class 10s. And talking to some Class 10 drivers, they're hoping for the rain. They're hoping for it to be mucky because they're so nimble, they move around.
And our first 10 class racer is number 1033, Elliot Watson from El Centro, California, Edgar Sotelo, Steven Eugenio, Tom Watson, and Carlos Villarino. That's an Alumicraft, sponsored by...
Very many sponsors here. Up next, we have Stan Potter. You're looking at car number 1006 right there. From San Marco, California. Freddie Willard and Dan Worley sharing the duties along with Mateus Serrano, I believe from right here in Ensenada, Carolina.
Matt Willard from El Cajon, California. And doing the Baja 1000 with Daniel Goodrich, Michael Goodrich, Chase Wilson, Freddie Willard, Ronnie Mitchell, and that's an Alumicraft. Sponsored by BFGoodrich Tires and King Shocks.
So right now, that's Justin Buckley out of Long Beach, California. Another Alumicraft there. Zach Cowder, Edward Arturo Laguna Garza, and Juan Jose Olavi Hernandez sharing duties. Precision Plumbing, and their main sponsor. Right now, you're looking at that beautifully colored car right there coming into frame. That's car number 1026 of Greg Smith out of Modesto, California. Don't have any co-drivers listed, but obviously there's one in there because we can see the navigator. It's a custom car. D&D Graphics, Sears Proto, and 510 Bistro, their sponsors.
Out of Tecate, Baja California, representing Mexico, Iram Duran, with Ivan Duran, Eric Duran, Marco Duran, Eric Duran Sr., Ivan Duran Sr., Sebastián Gil Cabande, José Daniel Mendoza, in an alumni craft.
They're fired up. I can hear them get going. Tecate, Baja California being represented in Class 10. Now we're looking at number 1013. That's Harley Mercevery out of Coos Bay, Oregon, all the way down here. Evan Duran, Eric Duran, and Marco Duran helping out in that Lothringer car. BFGoodrich Tires, Baja Designs, among their many sponsors here. Now we have a crowd favorite here. Car number 1000, defending class champion, I believe. If you have a red plate on that car, can't see it, but I believe they are. Francesco Vera, Bruce Yee, Max Yee, Diego Yee, out of El Rosario, Baja California, actually all over the place, the Yee family. Down there for many years racing. We wish them the best of luck.
Yeah, the Yee family is actually from Rosarito, and the Veras are from El Rosario, so...
They mix it up well.
Yeah. And now we have Carlos Guillén in the 1020 from San Diego, California, with Julio Covarrubias, José David Rodríguez, Adrián Cruz, Miguel Flores, Mike Aguilar, y César Flores in an alumni craft sponsored by CG Motorsports.
Now we're going into our Pro UTV fuel injected class. These are the 29 cars, a very large class, over 26 entries. Well, 26 entries exactly. These guys right here, Edgar and Nancy Garcia, just fantastic. They're having a great series. They're shooting for a podium. We wish them a great finish there. Herman Leon Solario from Santo Tomas in there as well, helping out with that team. Really good team. Method Wheels, PCI Race Raiders among their sponsors, Toyo Tires. Up next, 2948 is Matt Burrows from Norco, California. Taylor Yankee, Jason Weller, Chris Atchley, Jason Murray, Derek Murray, and Aaron Juarez in that Can-Am. Monster Energy, Can-Am, Buxo USA among many of their sponsors here. Yep. Up next, we have a crowd favorite, becoming a crowd favorite, but he's always been a crowd favorite in another sport, and that's in the UFC. It's UFC Hall of Famer, Mr. Donald Cowboy Cerrone. He is teaming up with the lovely former Monster Girl there, Miss Janie Lee. So they're sharing the duties, Janie navigating. Talked to me yesterday. They're having a great time out there. Our good friend Josh Felix will be taking over along with Eric Lee, navigating for him in that beautiful Can-Am. Monster VP Fuel, Toyo Tires sponsoring that car.
We see, waiting for the green flag, Jorge Jano in the 2910 out of Culiacán, Sinaloa, with Marcos Valenzuela, Francisco Ritz, Jorge Patraca, and Rodrigo Ampudia in their Can-Am, sponsored by, of course, Papas and Beer, Monster, and Toyo Tires.
Right into the cab at 2958 from Locksburg, Colorado. That's Zach Lumsden. Motorsport, racerentals.com, Yokohama Tremor Wheel among their sponsors. Shannon Mohem, Jason Cobb, and Matthew Melendez helping out inside that beautiful Can-Am. Larkspur, Colorado being represented here in the 2025 BFGoodrich SCORE Baja 1000. Up next, we have another guy that went from the bikes and into the vehicles. The old with age comes the cage mentality, and it seems to hold true with a lot of these guys. That's 2962 Clinton Shue from Zephyr Cove, Nevada. Charles Manchester, Gerald Mangini, Chris Sennings, Eric Christensen, Tyler Mata, and Dan Orr sharing the duties in that Can-Am.
With the number 2947, we see Francisco Espinosa Duran from Burley, California, sharing the duties with Pedro Hurtado Sandoval, Gael Hurtado, Nate Ortiz, Carlos Godínez, Jaime Delgadillo, Carlos Tapia, Odvar Alejandro Robles, and Christian Angulo in a Can-Am sponsored by Baja Designs.
So up next, we're looking at also representing Colorado, this time out of Denver. That's Craig Lumsden, car number 2957, another Can-Am, Colorado Motorsports. Among their many sponsors, Jamie Lambert, Jason Cobb, Ernest Henriquez, James Campbell Jr., and James D. Campbell sharing duties in that beautiful, well-appointed car right there. Up next from Mexicali, Carolina.
Carlos Quesada, Kevin from Mexicali, Baja California, the number 2928. Carlos Quesada with Carlos Quesada Jr., Cesar Castillo, and Isaac Romo in a Can-Am sponsored by Baja Designs and Method Race Wheels.
I think they pulled a fast one on us. That was 2902. Another one. They get out of order, but we'll get it all figured out. That was actually 2902 out of Austin, Texas. Noah Wright. So now we're looking at 2967 of Cliff Beasley from Yuma, Arizona. Brad Milner and Jake Asaga sharing the duties. I love their sponsor, Fats Bar. I know you guys at Fats Bar right now are watching, and welcome to the program. We hope you enjoy it. We wish the best for your guy there. For Cliff, please. Now we have somebody here with a lot of experience. We're looking at 2944. That's Bill Blurton out of Auburn, California. Jeff Gallegos, Chris Rowe, Kevin Kierkegaard, Vito Renullo, Jesse Hidalgo, and Joey Oslin sharing the duties in that Can-Am. They're moving right along here.
We see Aaron Aguilar from Hermosillo, Sonora. Representando Sonora. Yo soy sonorense y me emociono cuando veo sonorenses. And with the number 2933, Aaron Aguilar, that's who we saw starting the Baja 1000 with Martín Bringas, Fermín Flores, Leonel Mora, Juan Delgadillo, Aaron Aguilar Jr., Felipe Pacheco, and Carlos Aguirre in a Can-Am.
$29.96 from Belgrade, Montana, coming all the way down to try their luck here at the Baja 1000. Steve Luley behind the wheel there. Mike Slauson, Spencer DeBuff, Jaden Bryant, Wesley Luley, and Clev Peasley. Look at those eyes. They're wide open and ready. That's the way they should be. He's got a big task in front of him. 850 miles of some of the most brutal terrain on the planet. And there's a threat of weather coming in, so they should be wide awake for this one. Up next, right behind them, we're looking at Nicholas Gurries, 2938 from San Jose, California. They got a slew of people sharing duties. Michael Gurries, Fido Ayala, David Alaya, Richard Boomer, Tyson Lewis, Marcos Galdamaz, Pablo Galindo, Brian Houghton, and Refugio Flores in that Can-Am.
Now we have Miguel Cortez from San Diego, California, number 2955. With him, Francisco Ramos, David Caspino, Thomas Shanley, Edgar Romero, Jonathan Cervantes, Mario Cervantes, in a Polaris, sponsored by Terra Motorsport.
Up next, we have car number 2927, all the way from Miami Beach, Florida. That's James Lindley. James Lindley riding along with Miguel Sandoval in that Polaris. Not a lot of sponsors. They're doing it themselves. It was a dream of theirs. I talked to them the other day. They're pretty excited. We wish them the best as well. First time down here in Baja.
With the number 2943, we see Steve Allen from Linder, Texas. Ken Criswell, Keith Bolin, Jay Coher, and Benoit Judge. That's a Can-Am sponsored by Riviera Marina and Naughty Days Boat Rentals.
Wonder what that means. So who we got up next here? It looks like it's 2925.
20 from Playas de Rosarito, Baja California, with Joaquin Flores, Mario Amezcua, and Alfonso Lopez in their Can-Am, sponsored by Licores Don and Don Pisto Racing.
Okay, up next we're looking at, that's 2950 Rancho, New Mexico. Got a few guys from New Mexico in here today, which is nice. Herman Johnson, Austin Johnson, Chris Welchel, Carlos Arce, Miguel Efren, Ramirez Rochin, and Jeremy Pohl. Sponsored by Metal Center and Rugged Radios.
All the way from Argentina, we have 2918, Alfredo Olmedo, with Daniel A. Lopez, Tomás Olmedo, Francisco Verdugo, and Sergio Núñez in a Can-Am, sponsored by Monkey Business and Optima Batteries. Among others, of course. And now we have 29, not yet. Off they go. That's Alfredo, again from Argentina. And now 25, Oscar Arambula from the Arambula family. They have been racing forever here in the Baja deserts. And he's doing the Baja 1000 with Sal Diaz, Adolfo Arambula, Eduardo Escobedo, Víctor Cruz, Scott Cervantes, y Leonardo Flores. En este Can-Am, this Can-Am we see. Yeah, they're from Ensenada. We wish them the best of the best. We hope to see them at the finish line later today. Oh, that's my friend Mark Burnett from Chula Vista, California, 2905, doing the Baja 1000 with Michael Munoz, Cody Strickland, Jesus Navarro, and Rick Johnson in their Can-Am 2905. I wish them luck. I hope to see them at the finish line to celebrate. And from Cabo San Lucas, Baja California, Casey Bates, Tony Willie, Shane Dahlquist, Rafael Valenzuela Rodriguez, Marty Seafried, and Shad Dahlquist. That's a Polaris with the number 2916, sponsored by TSG Water.
Moving right along here, we have 2954. Spoke to these guys yesterday in the afternoon section, all the way from Monclova, Coahuila. Coahuila representing here in the 2025 BFGoodrich SCORE Baja 500. That's Even Rivera. Sharing the duties are Adrian Peraza, Eric Kozin, and Raul Peraza. Eric Kozin, no stranger to racing down here as well. We wish that team the best of luck. And now we're looking at someone that's just been on fire. Caden and Emma have been tearing it up down here. It's the 2935 of Caden Wells out of Hurricane, Utah. He's just been on fire, doing great. Everything he's been doing has been coming up at the top, finish line first place. Emma Cornwall, Travis Wells, Ivan Gutierrez, Nathan Ellis, and Bradley Wayne Ellis in that Can-Am. Bill Steen, Method, Tensor, Liqui Moly, among their many sponsors. Look for this guy to work his way all the way through the field as he's taking the rear start. Last in class, but don't be surprised to see that car on the podium, if not right up front and first. Now we have the Can-Am that we missed in there. They're jumping in right now. I'm not sure what it is, but we probably already talked about them. Let's catch the number. The 2957, can't really tell. Yeah. It was one of the ones earlier that missed their start. And there they go. Wish them the best. Now we're moving right along into Class 7. And this is Dan right here from Baja, California, over in San Felipe. Dan is no stranger to winning. He pretty much owns this class at times. Many victories down here racing in Baja. Out of San Felipe, like I said. Lori Chamley, his lovely wife, Kirk Kimball, and Todd Craven sharing the duties in that Ford. Factory Appliance, BFGoodrich, King Shocks. Yep, Dan's a great guy. We wish him the best. He's getting it off the start line here.
Chapel Hill, North Carolina, number 723, Preston Brown, Peter Monin, Jay Newsom, Gage Gilham, Russell Cood, and Keith Barthold. That's a Ford-built truck and is sponsored by BFGoodrich Tires, MSR Racing Shop, Negrito Transmisiones. Hi, Negrito, I see you.
Up next here, we have car number 711 out of San Juan Capistrano, California, a guy that just races everything and does it well. That's Reese Millen behind the wheel there. Richard Fant, Brady Kelly, Tony Hartley, Jeff Stone, and Mike Carpenter sharing the our truck. Reese Millen Racing Truck. Pennzoil, King Shock, Sparco, RCV, Baja Designs among their sponsors.
Number 713, Mario Murillo from Fort Worth, Texas, with Cesar Renteria, Cristian Omar Mariscal, Jaciel Omar Mariscal, Van Smith, and Cheyenne Collins. That's a Chevy truck. Sponsored by Murillo Painting.
Now another super competitive class here. We're going to our Pro UTVs, naturally aspirated class, the 19s. First up from Lake Elsinore, California, 1900. You see that red plate, that means defending class champion. That's Ricardo Torres in that Honda. Chris Arizeza, David Pedler, Louis Sandoval, and Brett Meaden behind the duties. Pedder Automotive Group, their main sponsors, along with Raceco and Bilstein Shocks. Now we have a super crowd favorite here, Carolina. That's Ava Starr. Car number 1919. She's always a favorite there at Contingency. They throw stuff out to the crowd. It's great. Her dad, Sean Malabanan, is with her the whole way. Ava's plan is to do the whole race by herself. If she has trouble, they do have emergency riders for her. We got Mike out of San Felipe waiting to take over. There's a Brandon Wall crew together. They've teamed up. Rugged Radio Insurance. Eva Starr, one of our most popular drivers on the circuit here. Up next from Nuevo, California, we got Corbin Leverton in that 1925. Another Honda. Kevin Freeman, Isaac Torres, and Zach Seislov. They're sponsored by American Honda Power Sports, Talon 1000R, Maxxis Tires, Baja Designs, Fox.
Lawrence Janeski, 1914, from Middlebury, Connecticut, with Javier Gonzalez, Dustin Gebers, Richard Wentworth, and Michael Sandoval. Sponsored by Contractor Nation.
Yeah, Carolina, Lawrence is another one of those guys. He races everything. So much time on the bikes. Again, moving from the bikes to the cars just seems to go so well for a lot of those guys. Again, I just think it's because they're so good at reading the terrain. But now, from Middlebury, Connecticut, we come back across and into another country from all the way from the other BC, British Columbia, Canada, out of Scotch Creek. That's number 1913. That's Dean Acton. Brock Smith sharing the duties in that Yamaha. CVM Motorsports, Captain's Village Marina, A&W Baja Designs among their many sponsors. That's my good friend. I'll do it, yeah. Now we have a a good friend of everyone's down here, one of the nicest guys in racing, Mr. Joe Bolton, 1957 here out of Corona, California. Ian Lyons, Mike Leslie, Marshall Lobo, Austin Bolton, his son, and Chad Mertz sharing the duties in that Polaris. Polaris Razor, Bolton Racing, OMF, PCI, Baja Designs, among their many, many sponsors. Number 1957, Joe Bolton. Now we're moving into our Class 5s.
Moving on to one of my favorite classes, the Baja Off-Road Racing, the 5 class, and we're starting with Enrique Briceño Núñez, 06, from San Quintín, Baja California, and we see Manuel Ibarra Barrios, Humberto Beltrán Arce, Claudio Lara Cerrenza, Román Cabrera Medina, Luis Castañeda Aguilera, Martín Anguiano, and Salvador Anguiano. Of course, that's a Volkswagen. And now up next, 500, Eli G from Tijuana, Baja California. Eli G is crazy. That's all I have to say. He's doing the Baja 1000 this year with Eli G Jr., Eli G, Angel Barajas, Juan Garciano, and Eric Galindo. That's a Jake's Fab. Sponsored by Barajas Performance. Angel Barajas, I love you, friend. And now we're the Pro Stock UTVs. We have Francisco Beltrán from La Paz, Baja California. That's the 3921. With Francisco Beltrán Dueñas, Diego Beltrán Dueñas, Eduardo Lizárraga Beltrán, Diego Cerda Castañeda, sponsored by Baja Marine Services. Now we have 3923, Marcos Valladolid from Tecate, Baja California, with Héctor Resk, Roberto Jiménez, Enrique Yepis, Noé Benavides, Gerardo Jiménez, in a Can-Am, sponsored by Papas and Beer. Mexicali, Baja California, representing, that's Joshua Morquecho, the 3926, and yeah, out of Mexicali, Baja California, with Carlos Salazar, Alejandro Juárez, Jorge Sánchez, Alejandro Aguirre, Arturo Aguilera, and David Morquecho, sponsored by Polaris Mexico.
Up next here, we're looking all the way from Yuma, Arizona. I believe that's number 3957. That's Kyle Schott. Sharing the duties are Jesus Flores, Bruce Jett, Steve Beard, Victor Rangel, Antonio Goff, Nick Bruce, and Eric Miller in that Can-Am. Edward Jet Racing is their main sponsor, along with SD Lighting. Thank you. Moving right along here in our Pro Stock UTV. Up next, 3939. From Cambridge, Ohio, that's John Meek, Jeff White, Rolando Cabrera, Mika Johnson, Giovanni Solara, and Geraldo Cabrera sharing the duties in that Can-Am. Sylvania Off-Road, beautiful car, well-maintained. They're going to have no problem at night with all those Sylvania lights on there. They're just going to light up the night like they do. All right, 5 seconds ago to our next car. That's 3969. That's Kevin Clyde from Sandpoint, Idaho. Nick Harper Johnson sharing the duties in that Can-Am.
Next in line, we have 3988 out of Santa Clarita, California, Sergio Rangel, sharing the duties with Alvarez, Arnaldo Hermosillo, Edgar Mayoral, and Brandon Lloyd. That's a Can-Am sponsored by Yeguada Herrera and Baja Designs, among many others.
Rolling right along here in the 3,900 class. That's 39.59. No, 39.30? Yeah, 39.30. That's Douglas Cornwell from Hazlet, Texas. Trent Kirby sharing the duties in that Polaris. Baja Designs, their main sponsors here.
From Puebla, Mexico, welcome to Baja to Antonio Mendez, the 39.59. And welcome also to Mundo Fernandez, Alonso Sanchez, Jaime Huachina, Cris Arellano, Carlos Gonzalez, Miguel Rosales, and Eduardo Acevedo. They're racing in a Polaris, sponsored by Del Amo Motorsports.
Okay, Fat Boy Racing all the way from New York, New York. There we go. We got the thumbs up on the New York, New York. There, you got to love that. That's Brendan Puderbach in that 39.27. That's a Polaris. Charles Finelli, Mike Taglitz, and Eric Coletto sharing the duties in that cab. All the way from the big city, New York, New York, here to beautiful Ensenada, Baja, California. Now, if we think New York is a long way to come to race the Baja 1000, hold the phone. Up next from Poznan, Poland, all the way car number 3950. That's Tomasz Bielkowski in that Polaris. Coming along with him from Poland is Dariusz Bezerk, Matsuik, Ernest Kuz, and today's is Bielkowski. The Kamali Rally team, they've got some experience, but no Baja experience, so we wish them well down here. I believe next we're looking at 39.35. That's John Crane from Seminole, Texas. Johnny Peters, Wilmer Lowen, Abraham Wiebe, and Ruben Walsh sharing the duties in that Can-Am. They're coming hot and heavy here at us. We're trying to keep up. 39.67 all the way from Casa Grande, Arizona. Well, in truth, not that far. That's Manuel Norzagari in there. John Peters, Wilmer Llewellyn, Abraham Wiebe, and Ruben Wall. Trailer just shook here. I thought maybe a little seismic action going on. Jesse Noragazi, Antonio Noragazi, and Jesus Noragazi sharing the duties in that Can-Am. Dennis Romero from Charlotte, North Carolina. Barrows Racing, SD Lighting, Oscar Diego Wise, Gomez Esteban Romero as well. So we're looking at 39.37 here from San Luis, Rio, Colorado, Sonora, Miguel Donovan. Jorge Hernandez, Raul Gonzalez, Reina, Dana Gonzalez, duties in that. They're floating up here pretty quick. Kind of throws our. We're trying to catch them all. We'll get them all for you here. We'll catch their names and numbers. Right now we're looking at 39.13. Again, from the other BC up in British Columbia, Canada, from Scotch Creek, that's Mark Acton, Wade Hawes, Mike Skiba, and Pat Stewart sharing the duties in that Can-Am. Now a lot of fan favorites here, the 1600, the class 1-2 1600 class. Right away, our first one up here. 1632 from Tijuana, Baja California. Paulina Alberto Maldonado. And that Volkswagen, Frank's Performance, their main sponsor. Up next, we have number 1600. Again, you see that red plate? Again, that means defending class champion from Chula Vista, California. That's Daniel Goodrich. Ronnie Mitchell, Gian Espinoza, Christopher Rivera, Jeffrey Vanderpool, Scott Reams, and Stan Potter sharing the duties in that Volkswagen. FJ Willert Contracting, their main sponsor.
Now we have 1657 Jose Valencia from Mexicali, Baja California. With him, Felipe Martinez, Rafael Aguirre, Ricardo Acevedo, and Aaron Gonzalez. In a Krieger, sponsored by Valencia Racing.
Color, kind of the green. It's going to stand out on the course, although it might be fully covered in mud later.
We hope so. I speak for all the fans, says Kevin. We have 1629 Gustavo Nava from El Pescadero, Baja California Sur, with Fernando Cervantes Montaño, Rey René Rubio Luna, Carlos Alberto Salgado Zazueta, Adrián Flores Robles, Jorge Alejandro Romero Street, Daniel Guillermo Chávez. And they have Quaker State as a sponsor and many others.
Now we're up next, 1648, all the way from Milton, Vermont, in a single-seater, tackling this 850-mile rugged terrain course here in the 2025 BFGoodrich SCORE Baja 1000 is John Paul Sear. Talked to him yesterday. He's hoping never to get out of the car. He's by himself, and it's going to be rough out there. Baja Moto, Sear Lumber, his sponsor, is pretty much doing it all himself in that single-seater. We wish him the best.
Out of Mexicali, Baja California, another Mexican representative. We have 1673 Cesar Omar Iniguez with Marco Perales, Emilio Salcido, Edgar Mesa, Enrique Verduzco, and David Aguiar in a DRM sponsored by My New Body Doctors and the Surgeons Mexico.
Yeah, they caused quite a stir at on the ramp yesterday. Those guys are great, a lot of fun. Up next, we're looking at our last entry here in the 1600 class out of Houston, Texas. A lot of Texas guys today, Carolina. That's David Winkle and Michael Landon, Dane Smith, Mark Barano, Chester Juan Smith, Winkle, Parker Jones, Cesar Pinellas, Pedro Soto, Rogelio Eduardo, and Oscar Aguilar sharing that U.S. Bank McDonald's being their sponsors here. Now we're into our lone Class 8 entry, hailing from Chattanooga, Tennessee. That's car number 852. That's a good-looking truck. Big Ford truck. Spencer Morgan. Of course, their main sponsor is Rio Grande Helicopters. Gary Lydecker, Lee Carpenter, Rhett Morgan, Higno Ibarra, Josh Gray, Spencer Morgan Jr., William Lance Patton, and Miguel Flores helping out in that cab. Now we get to the heavy boys. Moving right along to our next class. We have two of them this year. In the Hammer truck, these things are beasts. Believe we're looking at 44 right now. Let me double check that. It's 44, 55. There's only two of them. So right now we're looking at Sergio Pinellas up there first from Mount Dora, Florida. He's in that Jeep. Bruno Pinellas, Brad Goodfellow, Zach Savage sharing duties. And now we got the 44 right behind him. So we're missing one of our heavy duty trucks. Now we're going into Class 3. Class 301. That's RJ Zanin out of Long. Ken Brown and Austin Gillis sharing the duties in that Ford. Tom's Off-Road and Armadillo Designs among their sponsors here. Now we talked about people coming from a long distance. These guys are great. These guys are just fantastic. All the way from Ibaraki, Japan. Look at that beautiful Toyota there. That's Iko Hanawa in that Toyota. Hirakaza Somi, Toshiba Obara, Morin Sheedy, Peggy Gosley. They're from saw him at Joe Height in that beautiful Ford Bronco. Against another one. Build the car up just to beat it up again. He does it all the time. There's a lot of love there. Shooting right now into our Class 5 1600.
We have 594 Peter Everett from Dallas, Texas. A lot of Texas, you said.
A lot of Texas.
And Oliver Mogg, Shad Lloyd, Joe Desoriers, Ashburn Brothers, Nicky Wynn, Jason Wynn, Matt Ingle, and Kirk Mahon. Dirty Amigos Racing is their sponsor. Oh, another of my friends. That's a Hot Wheels Bug, Baja Bug, with Christian Samano. He's doing it solo, the driving. He's doing it solo, so we wish him the best of the best. And his co-pilots, Liana Gonzalez, Garcia Pavlov, Ivan Samano, Eduardo Vela, and Francisco Velegos.
Now we're into our Baja Challenge, the BC car. We're looking at BC1 right there, all the way from Greenville, South Carolina. That's Brandon Sturgis, Kyle Tucker, Brian Finch, Andrew Besanakan, Nicholas Bramleshopper, TJ Campbell, Rich Mingo, and Eric Miller helping out in that beautiful car there. The BC1, those are such capable vehicles. They always seem to finish, which is great. Now we're moving here. We're into our stock midsize. You're looking at truck number 773, Ford Racing, Fox, BFGoodrich Tires, Method Race Wheels are sponsors. That beautiful Ford Ranger, Raptor Ranger car. Behind the wheel, all the way from Alais, France, is Romain Dumas. Sharon Duty's JT Taylor, Bailey Cole, but a lot of talent behind that wheel. Amy Mildwaters, Wayne Sarlian, and Louis Estrada. A lot of the Fords down here this week. They're putting on just a fantastic show. We're so happy to have them. Right behind them, 766. That's Vaughn Gittin Jr. He's all the way from Maryland. Also in the car will be, again, so much talent in there. Jeremy Dickinson, Lauren Healy, Eric Davis, Bailey Campbell, and Brian Crofts inside that beautiful Ford as well. Ford Racing, RTR Vehicles, Shelby Power, Optima Batteries, among their many, many sponsors. Those cars are just beautiful. They even have the factory Michigan factory plates on them. You know, they're just coming down here with these beautiful brand new cars, a lot of technology. We wish them the best out there. But continuing our Ford parade right now is in that beautiful Raptor, all loaded up. We're now into our stock full-size class. That's Brad Lovell, Adam Lovell, Austin Robinson, Jason Shearer, and Jason Berger in that beautiful Ford. Ford Racing, of course, sponsoring all this. Brad's from Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Next in line, 8152, John Williams from Logan, Utah. Nate Williams, Jason Hutter, Paul Blankstead, Boyd James, Roger Lovell, and Kurt Leduc. That's a Ford. And, of course, sponsored by Ford Racing, Optima, and Fox Trucks.
Yeah, it's good to see Kurt Leduc back inside the wheel here as well. Boyd James, tons of experience in all these cars. Brad Lovell can just drive anything, so that's awesome. Now from Logan, Utah, up next. They were from Logan, Utah, correct. And now, again, back to Japan. We got more in Japan. Tomo's behind the wheel. Tomonori Noto. We talked to Tomo yesterday. He's pretty excited. William Carroll, Ryan Nakaya, Stephen Proyes, and Kazuhiro Tanaka sharing the duties in that Lexus. Now, this is history. This is the first hybrid car to ever race the Baja 1000 in that Lexus. So they're going to have a nice and style. That car is so quick, and it goes right by him. I didn't even know it was running. So it's the first hybrid to race the Baja 1000. Right there, taking the green flag all the way from Miami, Florida, and Trophy Light, number 6023. That's John Leon, Scott Knott, Krista Malone, David Clay, Tina Clay, and Elon Gorin in that Ford. Now we're going into our Baja E-Truck, but I don't see it, so we're moving right along here to Class 11. Our 11 driver, great guy, Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Famer himself, Mr. Eric Solorzano from La Jolla, California. Got to love the Class 11s. Matt Watson, Roberto Johnson, Fidel R100, Velspito, Sam Durham, and Rick Boyer coming out, also getting into the car. Rick Boyer's plan is to bring it home through the wash. Rugged Radio's BF Goodrich are main sponsors. Behind them is 1103. We're looking at Ralph Castillo out of Eastvale, California. Anthony Castillo, and I believe it's another father-son team racing in that beautiful Volkswagen Fox. EMPI, Mobile Wagon, PCI, and Baja Designs are sponsors. Currently, these Class 11s, I mean, I think the Ironmen are crazy. A lot of people think the Class 11s are crazy.
I've seen times where the Class 11s finish the Baja 1000 and some trophy trucks don't, so don't underestimate them. We have 1103, Ralph Castillo from Eastvale, California. No. I'm sorry. We have he skipped. We have 1128, Christopher Clearman from Boulder, Colorado, with Nicholas Chazee, Michael Steele, Joseph Sherrod, Goodrich Tires, and Matador.
Again, if you see your driver miss this turn here, don't worry. They'll get it together, and we'll see him. We'll catch up to them all here. Right now, we're looking at 1156 from Abbotsford, British Columbia. That's Arthur Penner. That car looks really cool. 1156 there. Marco Camona, Bill Rusma, Juan de Dios Dominguez Padilla, Javier Merez, Isaac Lemes, Gerardo Montier, Javier Santiago Martinez. Yes, that's a lot of different drivers in these cars, but those things, so they're going to want to do little stints and get out of that car. So beautiful VW, Toyota Tires Canada, Sunray Farm sponsoring that vehicle. And our other VW is not there either, so we're going to move right along to the Sportsman truck. Five here from Silverton, Oregon. That's truck number 1474. That's William Wolford. They got some family members sharing that duties in that Chevrolet. Dan's Motorsports Outlet, their main sponsor. Tim Price and Ryan Price also in that truck. Now here we're looking at 1497, that beautiful red truck that really stands out. From Monument, Colorado, that's David Pryor. James Johnson, Robert Matthews, Paul Corey, David Lester, Dennis LeBeau, and Ryan Lester sharing the duties in that Ford. Bentec Tires, their sponsors. So close. Oh, Caesar. We'll do it together. Up next is a crowd favorite, a favorite of ours here at SCORE, number 1550. That's our good friend from San Felipe, Baja California, Caesar Q.
We all love you, Cesar Quirarte from San Felipe, and he's driving with Moisés Cordero, Jorge Arellano, Salvador Morachis, and Ricardo Rodriguez, sponsored by No Bad Days Beach Rentals in San Felipe.
Yeah, best of luck to you, Caesar. That little car and the Sportsman buggy is the only one in his class, so I hope he can finish it within the allotted time limit here. Now we're into our Sportsman UTV Stock Open, but we got to pay attention because we might catch some of the people that missed their start jumping in here. But not this one. This is car number 1811. That's Jasper Drengler from Shawano, Wisconsin. Troy Jackson, Spencer Engelhardt, David Stewart, Steve Lewis, Brad Barr, Mason St. Laurent, and Hank Combine sharing duties in that beautiful Polaris. BF Goodrich Tires, Method Wheels, their main sponsors. Well, that's it on our list. There's a couple guys that skipped their start. For some reason, they missed it. They still got some time. I don't know what the exact rules is, but they got some time. They can come up and catch the counter. Well, Carolina, that was it. We got all the vehicles off the line. It was a lot of fun. It was good to have you here joining me.
It's been quite some time since the last time we shared the mic, so I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be part of this race. And it's a beautiful day here in Ensenada, Baja California. We have a single loop race, and we hope to see all of them finish at the finish line later today.
Yeah, it is a single loop race, 854 miles, and rain is definitely going to be part of it later on. It's wonderful that we got off the start with just a few little drizzles and very easy for the start today. Everyone got off, but when they come in later, It's going to be crazy. Now, our first bikes, they were at mile 300. I don't know where they're at now. They probably know back in the studio. But they were averaging 50 miles an hour. So it took them 6 hours to go 300 miles. So if we figure that out, and with some of the truck drivers I talked to, that was the fast part of the course. So it might slow them down a bit. So we talked about 4 o'clock for the first bike to get in. Maybe now I think we're looking maybe 5:30 or 6. So as soon as we have action here and people at the podium and the first bike finishes, we'll be back on bringing it to y'all live. Again, on behalf of Carolina Morales and myself, Kevin Johnson, we thank you for joining us here today on our coverage of the start line of the 2025 BF Goodrich SCORE Baja 1000. Now we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.